You know, if God is blessing my path, what does it mean? How does it change? What are the changes? And I would like to use the example of the Lord calling out Peter onto the water. I would like to use that example. Or I would like to use the example of the Lord giving the command, throw your nets in for a catch. And I am wondering, how come these miracles happen? And this is when he says he will bless our path. This is what he says. How come it can happen? Go with me to Romans chapter 8, verse 28. 8:28. Very nice verse. Everybody quotes it. Let's see what it says.
And we know that in all things God works for the good for those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose.
Really? Don't we grumble? Don't we have our complaints? And don't we say, only if it was like that, only if it was like this? And the word says, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Now there's condition, it's conditional. There's a two-step program for all things to work out for the good. Are you following what I'm saying? There's a two-layered understanding over here. Requirement, two-layer requirement. If you can pass these two stages, these two departments of testings, then you get all things that will work out for you for your good. So the first thing is to love God. Love Him with all your mind, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your being. Just love Him. Peter, do you love me? Do you love me, Peter? Love the Lord. So don't question the Lord, love the Lord. Enjoy the Lord, love the Lord. But the second layer is very important because you ask any Christian, they say, I love the Lord, man, I love the Lord, you just take her, I love the Lord, okay. The Lord understands me. You heard these type of people. You keep preaching, enough. Somebody told me this, you'll start again on your lecture. They get fed up. Nobody likes instructions. Who likes instructions? But the Lord said, those who have a ear, let them listen to the instructions. Help us, Lord. So what's the next layer? When you live according to His purpose. According to His purpose. What's the purpose? Oh, I don't know. What's my purpose? I don't know. Generally that's the answer. Tell me, brother, what's God's will for me? It's found in the book of Genesis. Original will for mankind, 126. Genesis 126. And they shall rule. That means you are able to step up, stay up, above, head above, in good order, in good sense, in good behavior. Only then you can rule. Did you realize, if you do the wrong things, I'll give you some examples, but remember this, if you do the wrong things, in a short while, your mind becomes foggy. You begin to forget the past. I mean, forget what you have done wrong. For example, it is said, if you lie, you better have a good memory. Because you tell somebody, your uncle was sick, and you tell somebody else your grandmother was sick. You better have a good memory. The fact is, if you're a habitual liar, your memory is dull. That's the fact. In the same way, if you keep drinking, you lose memory. In the same way, if you do wrong things, you lose track of what you're doing. And then you're caught. Did you realize everybody who does wrong are caught? The question is why? Because they leave evidences. You ask any detective, they say, you will always find evidences at the crime site. Do they say this? That's because these guys are forgetting. Wrongs does not help you keep yourself in self-control. What's one of the fruit? Called self-control. The opposite of is no self-control. So you have no self-control. You leave evidences back. So to rule, to be a ruler, and they shall rule. To be a ruler, you should have a clear head. You should be head above the rest. You should be above to listen, to obey, to walk along. You can do. Those who walk according to his purpose, that's the purpose. So get into his hands and begin to be the leader that he wants you to be, the ruler. Start from somewhere. Start from somewhere. That's why he called Peter and said, he gave him the same two-step program. He told Peter, if you love me, take care of my lamb, feed my sheep. Love brings in purpose, and the purpose is to rule. Take care, be the leader, step up, graduate. Love goes with purpose. Now, go back to that verse. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him. Oh. So, all things will turn around for my good. God works it out. All things will turn around for my good. Now you apply the case where Jesus told Peter, come onto the water. Come, it may be stormy, it may be choppy, it may be whatever. You come, Peter. It will work out for your good. Everything in every case will work out. If you are willing to live for God's purpose and love Him, even you can walk on water in that sense. Come, Peter, and he stepped out. And he walked. He was head above. He walked. Throw your net, come on, let's catch. Full night I struggled. But because you say so, I honor you. I respect what you said. I will do it. Now, you know something? To understand Peter's case in this context, you should have worked at least 12 hours the whole day or the whole night. And after really doing rigorous work, which is not, for them it was not easy, being out in the open, on the chill waters, without proper lights, straining their eyes and doing a lot of physical work of trying to haul the net and throw the net. It's all heavy things to work the whole night. You're tired. And when the sun comes up, that early morning heat kind of, you want to go and crash out. You have no energy left. You are hungry. And then preacher comes. Can I use your word? I am thinking of a pillow. Take your boat and get into the water. No escape, man, now. Unless you want to get yourself wet. It's not like give him the keys, I'm going home. It's not like that. Take your boat into the water, you hang around with me. After the whole night, I think, Lord, why you do this? Why you couldn't give a chap a good sleep and then wake him up at tea time and say, come, I'll teach you something? Are you willing to live according to his purpose and not your purpose? You got to change the world, man. Peter, I'm going to build you up. You're going to penetrate into the world. You need a training. Come on. And then after giving him a lecture on a bouncing boat, did you notice? The platform is bobbing. Close to the shore, there's more waves. More waves, like in a cradle. When and how much he's preaching, when will I sleep? He's on a cradle. Put out to say, let's go. Oof. Right? Lord, I want, bless me, give me, then there's a big list. You see, in every prayer, almost every prayer, we start with, oh, you're a loving Father, and then there's a list. If he's loving, why you have a list? I mean, that's the biggest joke, Heaven has always. Oh, there's another one who's come, there's another bulb who's come on, and then, okay, they're worshipping, praising, then that list. It makes no sense. No child gets up, in the morning and says, "Hey, listen, you got to check out my breakfast is ready or what? It's ready there, man. Any parent keeps it ready. Any parent thinks ahead. No 2-year-old, 3-year-old say, see if you got my water running, my breakfast. Then it's done for them. Imagine we tell God, we are just dust, man. We are dust. Oof. Fog, mist, grass. He calls us that.
The word says he knows what you need before you ask.
Yeah. You are today and gone tomorrow. And yet we will tell, don't you understand? How many times I ask you, how many years have gone by? We talk all this. He says, 2-step program I have given you, do you get it? And all things will work out for good. Everything will work out. I mean, it's like everything works out for good, and I can't understand these things. I'm just thinking aloud. With the Lord, everything is possible. If Peter can walk on water, why not? I mean, they throw the net and the nets are tearing now. Excuse me, what happened in the morning? These fish are supposed to come out in the night, they come out in the morning. Everything works out for good. He'll be thinking, water relief, I didn't tell him I'm hungry and sleepy and I want, you take my keys and go if you want. Take the boat, go for a ride. Good, I didn't tell him this. I would have lost a couple of lakhs. My fish, wow, now I'm a rich man.
Somebody said, a carpenter telling a fisherman how to fish.
Just think about it.
Carpenter's son. Because he's the Lord.
And for a fisherman to listen to a carpenter. That's faith. You put faith in him. When will we learn? He was yet to take the cross and resurrect, and they put faith in him. When will we learn? They just followed a preacher. He was yet to prove himself. When will we learn? They took him at his word. He was standing on, bouncing on a boat and giving a big lecture. They took him at his word. Peter comes and falls at his feet and says, I'm a sinful man. What are you doing with me? Please leave me. I can't bear this. I'm so sinful. He saw the sin in himself. And we, the church, call ourselves the bride, purchase of his blood, at his communion table, break bread with him, and we've not understood many things. Go on from there, verse 29. For those God foreknew, he also predestined. Really? Your predestination means he has specifics for each and every one of us. Do you understand this? He has predestined it, and he's God. He's not just pick up lots and throw one here, throw one there, throw the chips where it falls, let it fall. We'll take it on from there. So one day somebody becomes man, somebody becomes woman, it starts off from there. It falls in between, I don't know what they become. It does not happen that way. He is God. It's all predestined. For those God foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the likeness of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brothers. And those he predestined, he also called. Those he called, he also justified. Those he justified, he also glorified. Amen. Did you hear the call of the Lord?